I think I'm probably going to call this video Leave James Charles Alone 2020 because, in all honesty, that is what I want at this point. That is the campaign I'm running on.
I'm desperate.
So he basically promoted her competition when supposedly they were best friends.
Backstabbing. And you can think that you are the best of friends, and then you're just not.
She was crying, she was talking about how a friend had just betrayed her trust, how she was sick of doing things for other people.
It's been a long time coming.
It's all I want. It's all I need. I just want people to leave this guy alone.
So you guys know that I have been hinting at this for a really long time now. Everything that I went through up until this point, the harassment, the doxing, the stalking, the lies, the slander, the defamation, there was all a reason for it. And I'm here to shed a little bit of light on why I think that is. And I want to fill you guys in and fill some of the cracks that you may have missed throughout this whole thing with James Charles and Jeffree Star. Now, I'm going to say that in this video series, in the rest of this video series, it's going to look as if I am trying to defend Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson, when that is just simply not the case. I'm not here to defend them. I am not on any kind of payroll. But since that payroll narrative was crafted, and since it was worded and made in such a way for people to believe it, I was tied in and roped into what was going on with Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson. And I'm here to tell my side of things. And a lot of people are not going to like what I have to say. A lot of people are going to disagree with me, and a lot of people are going to argue with me. And that's fine. I don't feel like anybody needs to defend me because I know the truth, and that's why I'm doing this video series. And that's why I'm here today. There was a lot of people that participated in helping further James Charles and getting away with what he did, basically. And since all of this stuff with Colleen Ballinger has came out, a lot of people that defend Colleen Ballinger also defend James Charles. So this is the perfect time for me to do this. Now, I did say that I wasn't going to talk about Cody in this, but she does fit into this a little bit because I am going to be revealing a group chat that did have a minor in it. Now, of course, I don't know to what extent because I was not involved with this group chat, but I have pretty good context as to what may have been going on in this group chat. I do want to say that it is not the same thing that happened with Colleen, but it does involve some of the same people. So that's what this is going to be. I am going to be talking a lot from my iPad because this is where everything is. You guys, I have literally 5-6 years worth of receipts here. And obviously I'm not going to go through all of that, but I am going to go through everything piece by piece and explain everything that led me to saying the things that I said and defending the people that I defended. And why? Because I think that it's very important, and a lot of stuff has got lost in translation. I feel like after Tati uploaded that Breaking My Silence video, people took that as the gospel, and then James Charles ended up getting exposed again. And I think that it's time that we talk about it and how I believe James Charles manipulated a whole different set of drama channels and people that put information on the internet for people to consume, and it painted him in a light that he just did not deserve to be painted in. So with all of that said, I do want to say thank you for everyone that has been patient with me on this because it is not easy. I have spent literally weeks, months, hours putting all of this together, the timeline of everything and all the receipts. It takes a lot. So I really just want to thank all of you that have stuck by me throughout this and me saying that I'm going to do this. I originally planned to have this up even sooner than now, and it just did not work out that way because you guys know that I took a trip to LA because I really did need to decompress because there for a minute it just became so much. But before we jump into this, I do want to give a shout out to Gerard Cosmetics. You guys know that I have been using Hair AF for the past like 2 years now. This product saved my hair. It absolutely changed the game for me. I've tried everything and nothing helped, but as you can tell, now my hair is very thick, very lush, and very just healthy. And right now, if you go over to GerardCosmetics.com and use code Dustin, you will get 30% off Hair AF. Now, you guys, the results of this product speaks for itself. I'll put up pictures of my before here. And ironically enough, a lot of the people that I talked about in my previous video always had to drag me about my hairline, but like, where are they at now? Because I have a hairline for days. Now, this is an affiliate code. If you use this, I will get a commission. Keep that in mind. You don't have to use the code, but this absolutely does work. It has worked for me and it has worked for countless other people. And I know the time that Jen put into this, researching it, developing it, and all of that. And it's truly a product that has changed my life. So I stand by this product. And you guys know that I always let you know when it's on sale, so it's on sale now. But with all of that said, if you are here for this very long-winded explanation as to why James Charles is a manipulative piece of shit, stay tuned to this video. Now, to start this, we have to go all the way back in time to May 10th of 2019. Now, I'm sure that you guys know what that date is, and if you don't, I'm going to tell you right now. That's when Tati uploaded Bye Sister and totally obliterated James Charles.
It's like, no big deal. Like, sucking dick and cock. Like, I'm just like, oh my God. Time and place. And you did it at my birthday dinner.
Now, keep in mind that Tati, in my opinion, was on the right side of things at that time, because Tati did go on to release another video titled Why I Did It, and then she followed that up months later with another video titled Breaking My Silence. So, of course, when Tati uploaded this caused a chain reaction. There was a bunch of people that made videos, myself included, and a lot of people used that to say that I was somehow on a payroll. Ashley Kyle reinforced this with her payroll video that we're going to talk about later in the series. And somehow, since I got PR, I was automatically on the payroll with Jeffree Star, and he was feeding me information. Now, keep in mind, at that point in time, I had no contact with Jeffree Star. I did not speak to him until, like, I think right before Cremated, and the only reason I ever really truly did speak to Jeffree, and the video is still live on my channel, is at one point in time, somebody put a false trademark complaint on my channel, and they used Jeffree Star's name, and they said it was Jive Records. It was a whole mess. I found out who did it. I know who did it to this day. I've just never, like, brought it up, because at the end of the day, I couldn't do anything. But Ashley put me in contact with Jeffree Star, and that's how I eventually ended up talking to Jeffree Star personally, like on the phone and things. So 3 days after Tati uploaded Bye Sister, a video was uploaded by Sam Cooke, and it was about James Charles and his experience with him.
I'm here today to talk about my past with James Charles.
Now, this video was up for a little bit, and then it got deleted because Sam included a FaceTime call that he recorded without consent with James Charles, which actually painted him in a really bad light. And I don't know the legalities of me showing that here, so I'm not going to put that in here. All you have to do is go on YouTube and search that up, and you will be able to see it in its entirety. It makes James Charles look like shit, to be honest. And it proves just how manipulative he is. Now, Sam talked about how James Charles basically said that he wasn't straight, and how he like tried to make him think things about his sexuality and stuff. It was really gross. Now, we also need to note that at this point in time, I believe it was March, April, it was like right before Coachella, I believe. James Charles put myself, Nick, Rich, I believe, T-Spill, and maybe one other person. I don't remember who exactly was in this. We were all in a group chat together. We weren't speaking, but James Charles was sending us text messages of himself and Sam Cooke. And what blows my mind about it is James Charles actually thought that him sending us this was going to change what we thought about him, when in reality it didn't. The text messages actually made him look worse, because he said things like, when you're drunk, the truth comes out and you're not fully straight. And you also have to keep in mind, this is just one of the first people that came out against James Charles, because there's a whole list long now. But Nick actually did a video on this, and he read all of the text messages, and I do believe that it's pertinent. I am going to put it in here just for you guys to be able to see everything in its entirety, because he did not leave anything out. It is pretty lengthy, but I do believe that you guys should watch it. I will put in a timestamp if you guys want to skip it. However, overall, I think it adds to the story and it adds context, so that's why I'm putting it in here.
I hope that you all have your snacks and your teacups ready, because this is going to be a lot of reading on my part, and there are going to be text messages on the screen, because earlier this morning I went onto Twitter, as one does when they first wake up, and I clicked into my DMs, and there was a big beauty influencer in them. I opened up the DM and saw that Ashley Kyle, Dustin Dailey, T-Spill, and Rich Lux were all in this DM with me. And as it started going on, there were leaked messages from James Charles and Gage. Now, I am just going to read all the messages for all of you and let you guys form your opinion. Before I start reading all the messages, I do just want to clear up that Gage will be the gray and James Charles will be the blue. This is going to be like reading a novel, but here we go. Gage started with, "You unfollowed me first. and I checked. James responded, "My friends are the most important people in my life, and although the little red flags made them upset, those issues are not the most important ones. You only addressed the problems that made them dislike you, rather than talking about how you treated me. You ignored the kissing, the public hand-holding kiss, the photos and stories, and feelings portions of my message, which is what actually matters if you were trying to figure things out." Gage responded with, "Sorry, I wanted to wait to get back to you till later. I have class until 8 p.m. Also, if you want to talk face-to-face, I don't have class tomorrow. Also, that video, that's not you, is it? Looks so fake even if it is two people." James responded with, "Yes, I somehow managed to get onto the Ferris wheel and suck someone else's dick when you weren't paying attention." Gage responded with, "Either good Photoshop or two people actually going wild." James continued, "I don't think that I will have time to meet up in person tomorrow, and also, I don't think that's a good idea. If you have a response, I'll look forward to reading it tonight when you get out of class." Gage said, "Okay, if you change your mind, I'm free. If not, I'll get to you tonight." James responded, "I'm physically in New York for less than 8 hours, so I'm not going to have time. You can text me your response later." Gage responded, "Hey, I think we should talk in person seriously. Wherever you're at, for like 2 minutes, I'll swing by." James responded, "Why should I give you the time of day? And what the fuck are you going to tell me in 2 minutes?" Gage responded, "I mean, I wasn't being an asshole. I was seriously being honest with you the entire time, James. I don't care what anyone is saying." James responded, "I don't think you were." Gage said, "I went with an open mind and tried. Some people just aren't meant to be with other people, and that's the truth. And you won't know until you're with someone. Am I wrong?" James responded, "You went for a free Coachella ticket and did just enough to make me think you liked me, all whilst taking photos and hanging on me in public for attention. You knew you didn't want to be with me all along, and you still went for a free ride." Gage responded, "I told you to your face, I'm not going to say I liked you and you know that. No, that's not true." James responded, "You're a piece of shit, dude, and I hope that you never do this to anyone else." Gage responded, "Dude, you know I was being honest." James responded, "Just to clarify, you're telling me you've come to the conclusion that there is no feelings there, correct?" Gage responded, "What you're saying is not false. Yes, I did go to Coachella with you, but I did not deliberately go out there to hurt you." James continued, "Answer my question, with either correct or incorrect, nothing else." Gage responded, "No, man, there's not. You know I went there to meet you and find out if there was feeling. But then again, I'm always being true with you. And to be honest with you, no, there's not feelings. And that is what I found out. It's not you, though. I really liked you. But I'm not attracted to men, and I think you're really cool and awesome and all that stuff, so face-to-face closure would be nice. I'm just sorry you hate me so extremely because I never wanted you to feel like that. I hope you feel like that's a fair response." James responded, "Cool. I hope you've learned from this. If I ever find out you did this to someone again, I promise that you will be sorry. Do not talk about me or post any of those photos, and please do not contact me again." James continued with, "Please do not make a video about me. I was nothing but extremely kind and generous to you for the past several months, and dealt with you playing with my feelings both online and then in person. You knew what you were doing to me, and even if your intentions weren't malicious, they hurt me. A lot. I shouldn't have tweeted earlier and I deleted it, and I apologize. I was angry because my followers clearly have caught on, which is exactly what I didn't want, and you're getting attention from hurting me. Your side is the exact side as mine. And after everything you've said and done to me, the fact that you still want to continue to use me for attention and followers is really scary and sad. You've gotten a few comments, but if you make a video, it'll turn into thousands, for both of us. Please allow us both to move on in peace. I will not bother you again, and I ask that you please do the same to me." Gage responded and said the following, "Hey James, listen. This whole thing got blown out of proportion. I'm sorry you feel the way you do, but I feel really conflicted too. You blasted my name with the power and stands you know you have, and now I'm getting a ton of crap for it too. I won't make the video at all, and we can just move forward if you just did as much as clear my name and address what's going on. I think that'll be best for both of us, considering you said yourself your tweet was wrongful. You set your expectations very high, and I had to let you know everything about how I felt throughout this whole time. You can't just go and spin it saying I'm a con artist and manipulator because you feel you got hurt. We had a prior real relationship, man. You can't just expect me to have feelings and do all this stuff with you like that movie in your head. I'm sorry, but that's on you." James responded with the following, You've gotten 3,000 new followers and roughly 500 comments from my tweet that only got 2,000 likes before I deleted it. It will blow over in less than a week because people will forget and get bored. Clearing your name will give you more followers and attention, which is exactly what you want, and I will not give that to you. My tweet wasn't wrong. Posting it was. I did not set my expectations at anything. You came saying you wanted to make things right in person and test out how it would feel to be in a relationship. You did not come saying, I'm straight. We are just friends, but I want to meet you. Or I would not have said come, and you know that. You are a manipulator because you weren't interested at all the whole time, but kissed me, held my hand, and cuddled with me in order to make me feel comfortable around you, bring you to Coachella, follow you, and be seen with you in public, which got you the followers and attention you were looking for. I may have wanted more than what was realistic, but your actions and words were what caused that. I've gotten messages from a few other people saying that you've tried to use them for followers too. You knew what you were doing, and you got what you wanted. Now let me move on with my life and move on with yours. Gage responded with the following. Totally see your perspective. But firstly, I had 100K a couple weeks ago and got to 122 on my own. It's not about the 3K I got from this BS. You said yourself you DM'd me when I had 20K. The thought that I would be using you for attention is far from realistic, considering the growth of my account has hardly been affected by your tweet, or any interaction that I've had with you. I was perfectly content in my success before you, and the reality of the situation is that you've only broadcasted your narrative. The extent of your one-sidedness has cost me my reputation. For you to tell me to deal with the hate is selfish and unacceptable. I understand that this is something you deal with on a daily basis, but we fortunately do not live the same lifestyle. I cannot simply let it die down. You decided for me how this situation will play out by refusing to clear my name. I don't want to argue. The last thing I want is to drag it on, to be honest. But I won't allow this one-sided narrative forced on me. James responded with the following. Literally, what would you say in your video? You're straight, but flew to Coachella to try and see if you wanted to be with me, and kiss me there, and I gave you free VIP bands, and a place to stay, and paid for a first-class ticket home for you? You realize that doesn't make you look great, right? And if you lie at all, I have all the receipts to prove it, and my attorney will get involved. Gage responded with the following. No. I will say the truth that I told you I was exploring my sexuality. Bi-curious is a real thing. I know you bought the flight because you wanted me to stay, and it was the only flight back without being an 18-hour flight, and we stayed up looking. James responded with, you told me you wanted to stay because you were having fun. Gage responded with, and I really thank you and appreciate you with providing me with the place to stay and ticket, of course. Everyone will be informed that that is what happened because it's the truth. James responded, you were never curious though. You just wanted a trip to Coachella and to be seen with someone, and you know that. Gage responded, how the hell do you know that, James? If I say I'm bi-curious, you can't just say, no, you're not. James responded, because that's the only excuse you could possibly use to try and get out of this. Gage responded, I actually was, and that's a fact. Because everyone would bully me about it as jokes, and people would say it in my Insta when no one knew, so it's been in my head for a year. James responded, so you're making a video saying that you were curious about your sexuality, and decided the perfect weekend to figure it out was to invite myself to my friend James Charles that I'd been stringing along for months and asked to go with him to Coachella where I knew he had an extra VIP ticket. He and his friends were all incredibly kind and welcoming to me. They gave me a place to stay, and paid for my food, kept me safe at the festival, and James bought my flight home when I told him I was having fun. I kissed James and fell asleep and wouldn't let him pull away from cuddling when I had a headache, and told him I couldn't wait to see him again when he comes to New York in a few days. Unfortunately, fan accounts got a hold of photos of us and started leaking that we were together. I got followers, and then proceeded to tell him after 4 months I had no feelings. Gage responded, James, you are exceptionally successful no matter what age group. But for you to tell me I have no reputation is kind of mean. I have friends and family back home. I know you cut everyone off back home, but I didn't. I have people too. James responded, you told me you haven't talked to your parents in a month, and have 5 friends at the city college you go to. You're a compulsive liar. And I promise you that making a video is not going to end well. Gage responded, and if people think our sides are the same or different, that's up to them to decide. But they have only heard yours and your extreme emotional response on Twitter, not mine. I'm sharing my truth, not bashing or exposing you, James. That's not what I want. James responded, why don't you address it on your story and say I'm bi-curious and wanted to experiment with my sexuality? And through doing so, I hurt someone's feelings that I did care about. We are not together and have mutually decided to leave each other alone. My fans are already following you, so they'll see it. Gage responded, I'm gonna say exactly that. James responded, so what's the point in making an entire video? Post it on your story and move on. It's clear that you want attention and followers from making a video which is going to make you look even worse. Gage responded, no dude, you don't understand. I don't care about these followers. In order to explain myself, it won't fit on a story. I'm just going to make a video and put it up because it's much easier to share to whoever cares. James responded, that's ridiculous and you know it. You do care about the attention or you wouldn't be making a video. You want to clear your own name and make excuses for yourself and try to make me look crazy. Gage responded, no, I care about my image around my town and school, not about the ego and attention that you aren't listening to me about. I don't want you to look crazy at all, James. I said I will never do that. James responded, but this is bigger than that. Gage responded, no excuses. James responded, you aren't addressing your own town and school. Gage responded, just my side. James responded, you're adding the 100,000 people that are following you, including my fans. Gage responded, and if our sides are the same and people think I'm a con artist, it's up to them to decide. But I need to do this for myself, not the attention. Gage responded, I didn't play with your feelings. I honestly was curious, and that's what I'll say in the video. So I thought there was a chance, no lie at all, and I looked at it as openly as I can. Maybe it sent the wrong message, but I was totally honest with my feelings with you when you said, do I like you? I said, I'm not gonna lie, and say yes. I don't care about the attention. This is for me. James responded, tell your friends and family the truth. If they ask and let the fans get bored, I promise they will after a few days. Gage responded, I don't want to make your life miserable. Gage continued, I'm not playing a Me Too card. I'm not bashing your name. I'm just saying I'm not an asshole, essentially, clearing up your tweet. James responded, number 1, you can't play a Me Too card. We did nothing other than kiss, and you were not forced into anything. I have video evidence of you kissing me voluntarily and 11 witnesses that were there and watched the whole thing happen. Number 2, we talked for 5 months, starting on December 8th, 2018. In that time, I blocked your number or Snapchat a total of 6 times, wanting to move on because I felt as though you were wasting my time. And you each time came back to me apologizing, asking to talk again. Number 3, you FaceTimed me late at night on Saturday, April 6th and asked me to check Snapchat. You messaged me saying, I've been in denial about a lot of things and need to talk to you. I'm coming to LA. After you did not reply the next day, I blocked your number. You called me from a fake number on Thursday, April 11th in the morning and told me you wanted to see me face to face to figure out your feelings and see how a relationship with me would be in person. You did not say that you were straight and not interested. In fact, yesterday, via text messages, you admitted to me in writing that you are bi-curious. Number 4, you invited yourself to Coachella with me, and I told you at first that you are not welcome. And once you explained that you didn't care about going to the festival and just wanted to talk face to face, I said okay. I did not ask you to come with us. This is all documented via text. You flew out. We slept together. You held my hand. We cuddled. We kissed. On the last night, you had a headache and you kept pulling me back in to lay on you despite the fact I was trying to pull away and hang out with my friends. You had your arm around me both in private and in public at Coachella and got more into your act as soon as anyone famous was around. Number 5, I let you stay in the house that I paid for my friends and I. We gave you food, a place to sleep. I took care of you. I got you into Coachella VIP. I bought you a first-class flight home because you wanted to stay longer and you borrowed both mine and my friend's clothes because you came with only a backpack. All of these statements are correct, right? Gage responded, I'm not reading all of that because I'm not explaining that. Less is more. I'm just saying I'm not a con artist. James responded, I'm not asking you to explain anything. Read what I just wrote. Gage responded, number 1, you have a video. Sometimes people make actions based on emotions in a spur of the moment. Number 2, I asked you to unblock me because I was trying because I was curious. Number 3, I said I was straight in FaceTime, but then continued to say I have been curious. Number 4, you said the only way for you not to cry was to kiss you, even though I said I was uncomfortable doing that. Number 5, thanks for all that, I said. James continued, I did not say you kissing me was the only way I would stop crying. That is a complete lie. You asked me if I was upset because you didn't want to kiss me, and I said I was upset because of many things I was dealing with for the past several weeks, including family problems, internet scandals, and emotional conflicts, and that your mixed messages were now adding to that. After I said that, you kissed me, and continued to do so for the next 2 days, straight multiple times voluntarily. Is that correct? Gage continued. I have pictures of you saying you love scandals and it'll only bring you more and bigger, but obviously that won't be brought up. I did ask you, are you crying because I won't kiss you? And you said yes. But I'm not going to say that either. James responded, no. I said that was one of the many things that was leading to me be upset in that moment. Is the above message what I said true? Yes or no? Gage responded, if it's true or false, it's both, and doesn't matter, because that won't be brought up in the video. Gage continued, I'm just saying I'm not the person I was bashed to be. James responded, this is the prime representation of what has been happening for the past 5 months. Me asking you very straightforward questions and you completely avoiding the question. Gage responded, I'm not avoiding anything. I gave you an honest answer like I have been doing. Which you said you appreciated my honesty in the text, so you know I'm not a liar. James responded, then answer my question. Were all of my statements true or false? Gage responded, I'm going to be super professional about all of this. There will be no slander. James responded, you avoided my question again. True or false, Gage Gomez? Here is a clip of James Charles getting kissed on the cheek by Gage, and I did reach out to James for a statement about all of this, and this is what he had to say. I am not a victim in this situation. I allowed this to happen and have learned a valuable lesson of who I can and can't get close to. But this person is not a victim either.
So all throughout James Charles being canceled, this alleged payroll scheme was going on and Jeffree Star was feeding us all information, but never at any point in time was myself or anyone else that I just mentioned that was in this group chat that James put us in together ever in a group chat with Jeffree Star. But somehow people want to skirt past the fact that James was. That is highly manipulative. And at that point, James Charles even followed me, which he eventually unfollowed me because you'll see later in this how I called him out and he did not like that. Which brings me to May 19th, 2019, when James Charles uploaded No More Lies.
Grayson is going on camera shortly to finally tell the world how you tried to molest him and touch him in his sleep and made him uncomfortable for months, you sick motherfucker.
Now, James Charles did actually upload a video before this titled Tati, where he was crying and basically apologizing for everything that he had done, clearly knowing that that is not enough to save his image and reputation. That's why he posted No More Lies and then dubbed himself like the Uno reverse master, when in reality, if you watch this and you consumed it the way that I consumed it and other people that know how PR and hiding things work, you would know that he hid something in plain sight.
Anyway, so pretty much James and I have come to the realization that we are boy crazy.
Oh, yes.
And the things and situations that we tend to get ourselves into are
almost the exact same.
Mirrored.
Yeah. Like, Nikita and I were already super, super close friends for a very long time now, but I feel like over the past, like, year, 6 months-ish,
all of a sudden we just, like,
so close because we've been through hell and back.
And I also think that our boy situation started around the same time.
Yes.
And that's what I feel like just cemented.
We've had similar situations. We also have very similar
taste.
Guys, too.
Hot.
Masculine.
Straight.
Now, there has been a ton of talk about this voice memo that is out there and who is involved with it. And I'm here to tell you right now that James Charles hid this in plain sight so well that it goes over so many people's heads. The part in No More Lies that I'm referring to where James Charles hid this in plain sight, in my opinion, is where he read the text messages that Jeffree Star sent him that said the following. Grayson is going on camera shortly to finally tell the world how you tried to molest him and touch him in his sleep and made him uncomfortable for months, you sick motherfucker. Now, how the people didn't connect the two with there being an alleged essay with James Charles and Jeffree Star saying this and James Charles repeating it in No More Lies, I don't know, but from my understanding and everyone that has heard this, because I have spoken to people doing my research that have heard this, not Jeffree Star, that is exactly who the voice memo was from and who it was about and what it was concerning. Now, on May 19th, 2019, Jeffree Star uploaded his apology and he said that he was never doing this again, which we know turned out not to be true. And I think that there's a reason for that as well. I think Peter Mon has touched on that. Okay, so I am sitting here editing this and I did not realize that my screensaver on my computer came on, so it didn't catch the video of me speaking. So you guys are just gonna have to deal with this voiceover for a little bit until I get to the next part of this video. I'm sorry.
sorry.
So much time has passed now, I think that they might have been in some kind of legal agreement where none of these people were going to say anything again, because we know that Jeffree Star has also went on Mother's Basement, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. And he's went on numerous different podcasts, and even on one he said that James Charles should be in prison block D, cell 8.
First thing that comes to mind is cell block 8, prison. This person should be behind bars.
So, I mean, I think that Jeffree Star hasn't really changed his opinion on James Charles at all, but there are some things that Jeffree Star has done that kind of leaves me with questions. We're going to talk about that as well, but let's get back into the timeline. Now, on June 19th, 2019, James Charles addressed the situation and the allegations that had been made against him again on an Instagram story, and it reads as follows. There have been a lot of comments on my page, my friends' pages, and brand pages that I am associated with about recent events on social media. I'm going to have to deal with the lies, accusations, and being called horrible names for the rest of my life. And it fucking sucks, but I have already proven the accusations to be 100% false.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
That is actually not entirely true, James. But go off, sis. And at this point, there is not much more that I can do. I have to be patient, show my true character. I think you've shown us your true character, James.
And I finally came to a conclusion. It sucks, and it is ridiculously embarrassing to admit this, but I think I have to, and that is that I'm desperate.
And everybody knows that what you're saying here is a lie, but I'm going to continue to read it because you got exposed for how many people saying that you were in their DMs and catfishing them on Tinder. How many people now, James? I'll wait. But also understand that there will always be people who do not want to believe the full story, because to many, drama is more entertaining than the truth. This is not drama, James. This has never been drama. What you do with Tana and how y'all shade one another is drama, but you messaging minors is not drama, nor has it ever been drama. It's sad, but this is the internet culture we created, and I don't want these people following me anyway. I know that a lot of you guys want to defend me, and I appreciate that, but I ask that if you do it politely. Please, the best way to combat rumors and lies is with kindness, maturity, and facts. Don't be mean, don't call names, and don't stoop to their level. It's unnecessary, and if we've learned anything from the past few weeks, it's that negativity and fighting gets us nowhere. Please be kind or don't say anything at all. Negativity will be blocked. I love you all. Now, I think that there's more to this, because James Charles never actively came out and tried to drag Jeffree Star. He never said anything publicly about Tati. He never really lashed out outside of No More Lies. But what I'm going to reveal to you in a little bit later in this video, it's going to paint a picture, and I'm not even going to have to say anything. I want what your thoughts are when I present all of this to you and what you think without me colluding anything. Now, on June 17th, 2019, Sam Cooke uploaded a video basically retracting everything that he accused James Charles of, but this video was very sketchy to me because it looked like Sam Cooke was being interrogated. A lot of people shared the same sentiment, and it was very strange and eerie to watch. Okay, now this next part is in my notes, and it's a screenshot of Here for the Tea, because I think that a lot of people forget that Sam was actually very close with James Charles. She was friendly with him. She was cool with him up until 2021, when he got called out in a massive way when so many people came forward. And it also must be noted that anyone that was like the opposite of Jeffree Star, she aligned herself with, because she hated Jeffree Star so much. So she was right there with James Charles. Now keep in mind, we also have to note that she was so friendly with him that she was actually going to do a series with him exposing the beauty community in a drama video. A lot of people forget that. So I just want to make it clear that Sam was absolutely cool with James Charles, and keep in mind that Sam was also one of the drama channels that talked to Tati before she posted Bye Sister, if you're picking up what I'm laying down.
I was planning on hopping in my car and, sitting down with him, but I changed my mind very, very quickly when I found out that he had been giving his side to drama channels. He had been in contact with plenty of them. I immediately knew that this was all about damage control and had little to do with his care for me, because I just don't think that he does. If that's the playing field that we're on and I have to go there, just know my receipts are like stacked thick. To be in full disclosure, I have spoken with 2 drama channels that reached out, and one of them is Here for the Tea, the other is Tea Spill. They're both making videos. I needed to share a little bit of where I was coming from. And even in those messages, like the first thing that I say is like, I'm crushed because this person was family to me.
But Sam said, so sick of this shit. You see 1% of our friendship and you think you know everything. Would you like to see the continuous text, voice notes, and FaceTime call history? You know absolutely nothing about our friendship, so please shut the fuck up. And Sam had quote tweeted someone that said, this friendship doesn't fool anyone and you both being called out on it is funny as fuck. Now, I believe that this was actually in relation to Manny, and if you know anything about what's going on with Colleen Ballinger, you would know that he pretty much put his foot in his mouth, trying to skirt by what Colleen Ballinger did with that weird-ass podcast that he and Laura put up.
The messages, they're strange.
But we know that Manny is also very closely affiliated with James, and this is the people that Sam surrounded herself with. She thought that she was friends with Daniel Prada. She thought that she was friends with Manny MUA. She thought that she was friends with all of these people. And I have to ask, what would be the problem if I was friends with Jeffree Star? I'm not. I've never considered Jeffree Star a friend to me because I am nothing to him and he is nothing to me. But at the end of the day, that apparently meant something to Sam, her friendship with Manny and James, but nobody else could be friends with social media influencers because they were the opposite of the narrative that she was trying to push, if that makes sense. Now, this Ash person went on to say, it's hypocritical claiming to be besties with someone from the same community you spill tea about. So you're now going to be biased. Not just that, you've befriended someone who was once besties with a certain influencer you can't stand. Motives aren't pure on both sides. And of course, Sam replied to this and said, girl, go to bed. You know absolutely nothing about our friendship. And if Sam can say that this random person on Twitter didn't know anything about her friendship, why was she in any kind of place to say what my friendship level was with someone else that I wasn't even fucking friends with? And side note, I had hinted in my last video about Sam here for the tea and why her and Manny fell out. It is literally over her not being invited to a Morphe launch party. When Manny launched that collaboration with Morphe, they got into it because Manny did not want to invite her because it would look crazy for him to bring someone to a Morphe party that has made so many videos about them in such a negative fucking way. Could you imagine like Manny going to the people that were hosting that Morphe party and being like, look, I want to invite Here for the Tea to this. How do you think that they would respond to him? What do you think that Linda Morphe and Jaclyn Hill would say about that? It just would not fucking happen. So that is yet another predicament that Sam put someone else in because they didn't do what she wanted them to do. And I feel bad that Manny had to go through that. But that was his friend, girl. That was his friend. Now we're really going to get into some of the problematic things that James Charles did, because keep in mind, this is right on the heels of No More Lies and him having to defend himself against Tati and her saying that he was basically a predator and Jeffree Star calling him out saying that he was a danger to society. Now on August 25th, 2019, James Charles posted something that sent everybody into a tailspin, because we all know that James Charles has really young fans. It's been very apparent. Like, his fans now that experienced all of this then are probably just now getting to like maybe 17 or 18 years old. But James Charles posted this really scantily clad picture to his Snapchat story for the world to see. And then following all of that up, he tweeted out and said, damn, I should have face-tuned my butt first. And why he thought that was acceptable, I will never fucking know. But of course, in true James Charles fashion, this was not just a one-time occurrence. Now, James Charles ended up getting his account hacked and he had it out with AT&T. There was a bunch of back and forth, and he said that his information was compromised and pictures and things. So he took it upon himself to tweet out and say, hi, I got my account back. Just in case I ever get hacked again, here's the only nude I've ever taken. Can't threaten me with it now. Get a life. Which is also a lie if you look at the last picture that I just put in here. James Charles saying that this is the only nude that he's ever taken. Like, okay. Now, of course, James doubled down on this after the fact because someone tweeted to him and said, you have fans that are children that look up to you. You are sick as fuck. To which James Charles replied and said, it's a butt. Get over it. And as if the situation was not bad enough with him sharing it just on Twitter, he went to his Instagram story and shared it as well. Now, getting back into the timeline, we're going to move ahead to December of 2019 Actually, December 4th, 2019 to be specific. At that point in time, I was receiving a lot of DMs and messages of people voicing their concerns about James Charles and how he was potentially changing his sexual identity on apps like Tinder and things like that. There was even a YouTuber that made a video about this because he matched with James Charles on Tinder by mistake, where he saw him in the carousel as he was like scrolling.
I was on Tinder, right? This is genuinely true now. I was on Tinder in LA, and obviously my preference is only set to women because I am straight. So I'm there swiping a way, and I shit you not, who comes along on my boost experience on Tinder trying to get 2 matches out of the 1,000 girls that I swipe on. It's James Charles. I swear to God, James Charles comes up. He's verified. So it's definitely him. I didn't even know you could get verified on Tinder.
I tweeted out without tagging James or anything. This was just a very subliminal, very blanketed tweet. It was about James, but he was not tagged in any way. And I said, if you identify as a gay man, do not set your Tinder settings to female for straight men to find you. If you identify as a gay man, do not set your Tinder settings to female for straight men to find you. That is all. So, of course, James Charles found this. I don't know if he was tagged in it. I don't know if he was searching his name or what, but he replied to me, and this is what he had to say. I'm so sick of people talking about this. 1, my identity on dating apps was listed as androgynous, someone who expresses themselves in both feminine and masculine ways, not a female to trick anyone. 2, every time someone said they were straight, I unmatched right away. So this is him admitting to doing this. 3, having simple conversations with people that swipe right on you, dating apps is not predatory. 4, as a gay man, you know that curious men use feminine gaze as an outlet to experiment. I stopped allowing myself to take part, but let's not pretend like it doesn't happen. No, I'm sure it does happen, James, but you're somebody that has a lot of fame, money, power, and influence. Like, do you really want to end up on like Dateline? 5, I've went on many awesome dates with either gay, bisexual, or closeted men over the last 6 months. I have gone on 0 dates with straight men, literally ever. 6, I deleted dating apps from my phone last week because although I've consensually met some great people from them, unfortunately I receive a lot of harassment from people who only match to take screenshots or make videos and make a spectacle of me. Thanks to people like you who will not let those false accusations die down. I have received this treatment from all men of all sexualities. I'm single and looking for love just like everyone else. I mind my own business and am extremely careful with who I talk to. But people take advantage of me and continue to spread bullshit like this around, and it's so frustrating and makes dating impossible. Leave me alone. Me posting this, not tagging James, not saying anything other than you shouldn't have settings about your sexual identity and your sexual preferences as one thing when it's something else. You shouldn't be catfishing. I'm wrong. So now I'm wrong and I'm spreading misinformation, but other people can validate what I was saying and what James Charles was being accused of. But I'm the one that's in the wrong. I'm the one that should be punished. I'm the one that should be harassed. I'm the one that should be doxxed. I'm the one that should have their head put on a pike, right? So of course I responded to this in a tweet and I posted a video, so I'm gonna read the tweet for you now. I said, I didn't tag James as I made a general statement. I did use a gif of James when referring to Tinder, but that's it. I do not hate the guy, and I did not link the article until after the fact because I thought he was implying I started this up again. Regardless, let's keep it moving.
Okay, we're going to make this short, sweet, and to the point because I don't know how long Twitter is going to let me record this. You guys probably seen some tweet threads between me and James Charles. James Charles has had me blocked for quite some time here on Twitter, and apparently what I tweeted out really affected him in some way. There's this article that's going around about him. I have known about that for 2 days. I've had 2 or 3 people message me with other screenshots of James on Tinder saying that he's pretending to be a female or whatever. James gave me a really long-winded explanation in a Twitter thread as to he has something set as androgynous. I don't use Tinder. I use Grindr. I use Scruff. So basically, James and I have talked this out. I don't care to talk about this situation as far as him being an alleged predator. I don't think that I've ever used that word to describe James. And until I have hard evidence or proof to show that, I'm not going to talk about it. It's as simple as that. I have seen the article. I've seen the screenshots. But literally, while if somebody does what people are alleging he does is wrong, I think that it's wrong because it's very dangerous for anybody to do that. If you are a gay male and you are on Tinder, saying that you're a female. People get killed for that. That is very near and dear to my heart. I have actually lost somebody in my life due to something very similar to that, and I don't care to see anybody to have to go through that, okay? So at the end of the day, James, I'm not biased. You said that you don't watch my content. That's fine. So if you don't watch my content, you can't say that I'm biased because you don't know what I say. And literally in my last video, I defended you. I don't have any ill will with you. James has followed me. We've spoke in DMs. There's no camaraderie there or anything like that. But going forward, if there's an issue with James, I will go directly to James and ask him. It's not going to sway how I feel about a certain situation. I'm not here to influence people. I'm here to tell you what I find in my opinion, and I ask your opinion. That's what my channel is. So you guys, I hope that Twitter allows me to upload this. I hope you all have a good night, and I hope that I clarified some things for you. Goodbye, guys.
And of course, at that point in time, I was terrified to talk about James Charles. I had already talked about him so much after all this shit with Tati and Jeffrey and all these people. And of course, James was friends with Sam, here for the tea, and she was the head of the influencer protection program. If she liked someone and you said anything about them, she would make your life a living fucking hell. And if you followed me since then, you know this to be true. If you watched my last video in this series, you would know this to be true. So in my mind, I have no doubt that James Charles was actually talking to Sam, and she was defending him because she really thought that she was his friend when he was just manipulating her, in my opinion. But that does not take away that she was an awful, terrible, horrible person herself.
I think I'm probably going to call this video Leave James Charles Alone 2020 because, in all honesty, that is what I want at this point. That is the campaign I'm running on. It's all I want. It's all I need. I just want people to leave this guy alone and let him relax for a minute. Wait, no, not a minute, a whole goddamn year, because this kid has gone through it. Just absolutely, utterly been dragged through the mud and literally is still dealing with the after effects of Dramageddon 2, where he was smeared and defamed. I know people want to say that James has gained all his subscribers back and he surpassed the person who purposely tried to end his career by spreading falsehoods, so everything is hunky-dory now and okay, and it's just all fine now. It's all fine because this was all about subscribers and he's not a person. But he has spoken honestly about the toll this situation has taken on his mental health. How two people he loved and trusted, two people he thought cared about him, went out of their way to lie and make him look a certain way. And how after that, the world dogpiled on him to the point where he thought about hurting himself. That isn't something you just get over and get past and move forward because people come back, especially when you're 20. Seriously though, I just want to do a Leave James Charles Alone 2020 campaign.
Okay, so since we're on the topic of evil, maniacal, manipulative, backstabbing, worthless pieces of shit, I think that now is the perfect time that I get to talk about Creepshow Art. Now, you guys may not know, the last thing that I heard from Creepshow Art about myself was there was some voice memos going around that she sent to Gabby Hanna, or someone that was close to Gabby Hanna. There was some voice memos that went around, and in these voice memos, Creepshow Art alleged that myself and my fiance, Nick Snyder, drugged people at our Christmas party, which is just so untrue.
She genuinely thinks that when people talk about her, that's all they're doing it for. And that's how she discounts all of their criticism. It's all clout. It's all fake. It's all you want my attention. Granted, she does have a point with certain people, like Dustin Dailey, who double backed on her because he it became popular to not like her. And so he said a bunch of shit, and him and his fiance fucking suck. I hate them. They're terrible people. Literally drugged people. But him and his fiance fucking suck. I hate them. They're terrible people. Literally drugged people.
So let me explain, you guys. When Nick and I first got together, I didn't even smoke weed. I didn't drink. I just drank on my trip to LA and I paid for it for 2 fucking days. I am not a drinker. So to say that I drugged anyone is just straight up defamation, Shannon, and you know that. But to also allege that Nick did that or somehow participated in someone drugging people is just absolutely crazy. Because if you guys really want to know the truth, when Nick relapsed in December of 2019, he overdosed and almost died because of what happened. Now, I'm not going to get much further into what actually happened because there are people that are involved in that I like that this could hurt. But what I will say about the situation and the conversation that Shannon started here is that I'm 99.99% sure that this either came from Jake Yonsei or Shelby from Deep Dive because they were so far in Shannon's ass that they could taste what she had for dinner. So not only did Shannon run with this slanderous accusation against myself and Nick Snyder, she went and told Gabby Hanna this. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to talk about this later in the timeline. There was a lot going on between myself and Gabby Hanna at the time, especially like when my sister passed away. And Creepshow Art defended her, and I remember that Shelby from Deep Dive was also there like protecting and placating Gabby. So I didn't forget any of that shit, Shelby. But of course you guys know Creepshow Art had a gaggle of friends. It wasn't just Jake Yonsei, it wasn't just Shelby. They also had another loser that followed them named Tamimi. Now I had never heard of Tamimi before she put me in her video and said some things about me that I'm going to react to here in a minute because this video is actually still up. But it's just really interesting to me that all of these people used to drag James Charles, specifically Tamimi, and then all of a sudden when this Leave James Charles campaign was started by Creepshow Art, here comes Tamimi dragging along her back so she can get her views. So let's talk about Tamimi for a minute. Now Tamimi thought that she ate in this video that she made, and I'm gonna react to the first part of it where she included me in just a moment, but I wanted to talk about this group chat that I've hinted at for so long throughout this series and teasing it for you guys, right? If you haven't got the memo, I'm trying to show you guys that James Charles, in my opinion, of course, manipulated a whole bunch of drama channels, or at the very least was feeding them information that was trickling down through group chats and things. Now, in June of 2020, I became aware of a group called the Teavengers, and before I get into this, I just want to say that I'm not alleging anything. I'm just saying that I believe that there was a group chat of all the people that this Teavengers account followed. And this Teavengers account was very active in calling out Jeffree Star. Right around the same time that Here for the Tea, Jake Yonsei, Creepshow Art, and all these people, Liam McVoy, were hinting that Tati was going to post a video and drag Jeffree Star. So let me tell you the people that this Teavengers account followed, and then I'm going to read you the description and the bio from this, and you tell me if the shoe fits. So the list goes as follows: Smokey Glow, Cat Tin Barge, Gigi with the T, Not Another Drama Channel, Shelby, Tamimi, Creepshow Art, Sharita Explains It All, Jake Yonsei, Oh My God Expose You, and Max and her little crew, which used to be Max Posed. And I'm sorry, you guys, whoever came up with this had way too much time. The fact that it's like Marvel themed and it says Teavengers Assemble, they even made the banner, the profile picture, like they had a lot of time. If you are over the age of like 20 and you did this, you need help. But the bio on this reads as follows. It says journalists, Cat, artists, Creepshow Art, commentary and drama channels. Commentary and drama channels, that would probably be Smokey Glow, and that would also probably be Sharita, as well as Tamimi, who are here to bring the truth, aka a place to keep a bunch of receipts. And something that I want to add that just really sticks out to me is there was an article that came out against Jeffree Star. Now this came out a few months after Tati posted her video Breaking My Silence, where she literally obliterated Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star and accused them of all sorts of things, all while taking zero accountability for what she did and what she participated in herself. But there was an article and a thread that came out by Cat Tin Barge and The Insider, and it had a lot of things that were not necessarily very good about Jeffree Star. So Cat tweeted this out and said the following: huge shout out to everyone who has helped me and been there for me during the past 6 months, especially my sources. Shout out to Looks by Liam for the incredible work on YouTube before this, and Oh My God Expose You for helping me put the pieces together until, well, this thread. Well, you might wonder what that thread is. Come a little closer so I can tell you if you don't know. It's a thread about essay allegations against Jeffree Star. It's basically everything that she outlined in the article that she wrote about him. And that has never sat right with me. That's weird. I'm not saying anything happened, but it's just strange to me that Cat Tin Barge is so vocal today about group chats and parasocial relationships with minors. Especially when I have screenshots of this minor tweeting out saying, the tea I've been given, I can't share it yet, but just know something you didn't think was true is, Carmageddon is coming. And one can only assume that Carmageddon was about Jeffree Star when Tati uploaded her video breaking my silence because, as I said before, all of these people were tweeting out these ominous tweets about Tati possibly making a video. It would only make sense that they knew something before it was going to happen, which is in fact the same thing that I got dragged for and everybody else that got dragged for because of Ashley Kyle and Jeffree Star telling her information. But you also need to keep in mind that Tati was also talking to Drama Channel. She talked to T-Spill and she talked to Sam. And all while this was going on, Sam was being James Charles's friend. But this right here is what honestly makes me think that all of these people were truly in this group chat together, because there's screenshots of Jake Yancey saying that Will basically knows everything. And all the vague tweets that Jake Yancey put out, like saying, okay, but for real, this shit is worse than I thought, and T will spill. It just has to at some point, because oh my fucking God. And insert subtweet, vague tweet here. Okay, but on the real, it's fucking gross and deplorable. Not even really tea or drama, more just fucked up. Really fucked up.
Cameron Dallas?
Hey, baby.
Stop. Tried to fuck him. I think Cameron said no, I can't remember. Oh well, can't relate.
James Charles, probably not watching this, but we'll see if I get a takedown notice. You have made so many people look like fools. They defended you, they gave you the benefit of the doubt.
We apologized to each other, forgave each other, and agreed to wait patiently until it was safe for me to share my story.
Morphe Cosmetics cuts ties with Jeffree Star. The makeup company released a statement on Friday distancing themselves from the controversial YouTuber.
They trusted you, myself included. Call it sticking it to my pride.
Then Sam from Seattle will be joining me and Cameron to talk about you trapping him in his hotel room.
It wasn't until the series ended in December, when James Charles and I met, that I started to realize what had actually happened.